Warfare has always been about wanting and wanting only, throwing rocks at your enemies. Cavemen hurled them at each other in the earliest test of skill and strength, but this primitive method had its flaws. Rocks were slow, unpredictable, and lacked range. What's the solution? Enter the slingshot. Slingshots turned human arms into weapons of speed and precision. With a simple flick, you could send a stone flying far faster and farther than any hand. But as slingshots became deadlier, defenses improved. Helmets and padded armor were introduced to blunt the impact. That's where the crossbows came in. They were a revolution, a weapon that combined range, precision, and the power to pierce armor. Even the most heavily armored knights found themselves vulnerable to a well-aimed bolt. But knights didn't take it lying down. They upgraded to heavier armor and bigger shields. Yet the crossbow was only the beginning. When the armor gets tougher, firepower needs to get louder. Cue in the gunpowder. Rifles and muskets powered by gunpowder could pierce armor at a distance, rendering even the best knight's gear obsolete. But personal firearms couldn't take down fortifications. Castles and walls still stood strong, which led to the rise of heavy artillery. Trebuchets and cannons were terrifying innovations. They blasted through walls, sending defenders flying. But what if the enemy wasn't a sitting duck, but a moving fortress? That's when the focus shifted to tanks, and with them, armor-piercing rounds. Armor-piercing rounds marked the next leap in battlefield dominance. Designed to punch through tank armor, they made even the hardest plating seem paper thin. And the response? Angled armor. By deflecting rounds instead of absorbing them, tanks gained a second wind. But AP rounds were only the tip of the iceberg, because when angles didn't work, explosives took over. High explosive anti-tank rounds, or heat rounds, used shaped charges to focus their energy, melting through armor like butter. Suddenly, even the best of angles and the thickest of plates aren't enough. So engineers developed ERA, explosive reactive armor. It could block the nastiest of rounds by neutralizing the blast mid-strike. But what if the threat didn't come head-on? What if it was from miles away? Anti-tank guided missiles, or ATGMs, brought precision into this mix. These long-range weapons could hit tanks from above or the side where the armor was the weakest. Which is why active protection systems were invented to intercept these missiles mid-air, like a high-tech shield. Yet, what happens when the sky itself is swarming with a new kind of enemy? Drones took the battlefield to a whole new level. They could scout, strike, and swarm, turning the tide of war from above. They are cheap and versatile, and leave traditional defenses struggling to keep up. The solution? Jammers can disable their signals and turn them into expensive little bricks. But history has shown, for every defense, there's always a new way to attack. From rocks to drones, the never-ending race to throw something harder, faster, and deadlier has yet to reach its limit. As the technology evolves, so does the art of war. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like. And if you want a piece of this metal on armor action, don't forget to subscribe. Drop your thoughts and suggestions for the next video in the comments, and of course, slap that bell so you don't miss out on the next video. Stay tuned, and I will see you on the battlefield.